Hi there. It is August, which means that it is December daily season again. Last year, I did not finish my December daily for the first time ever, I think, or maybe once or twice. I hadn't before, but I usually finish up my December daily in December or January. Last year, I just did not finish it. I didn't finish it primarily because I launched a class at Allie Edwards. Class launched on December 16th, and my class ran the full month of January, but I was just fully engrossed in that class. So I didn't really have time to do my December daily too much, which was very separate from my class. And if you haven't heard of my class or seen my class, I will link it down in the description box below because that class is still available for sale. Anyway, so this was my planning calendar, and these were a download, not a free, but it was a download included in the 2022 December Daily Prep Party that I created. And for these, I had various different ones I saw some people included them in their albums. I was using it just for planning. So basically, I'd written out the stories that I wanted to include, and I laid everything out on here. Now it is months later. I haven't looked at this. It's been sitting in my closet. I'm pulling it back out, and I'm trying to decide where to go from here. So I already flipped through this. I'm not going to flip through it with you guys right now. If you want to see those previous pages, I do have process videos for all of the pages I've done so far. I finished up through 18 in here. So I'm fairly close to the end. But I do have process videos for those. And once I complete the album, I will do a final walkthrough video. What I did want to do is kind of like, I pulled everything out and I just kind of want to assess where I am. So I realized I've completed in full through page 18. So I didn't actually mark it off in here. I'm going to grab a highlighter and do that. It looks like, here. Looks like I was using mild liners on here. This is not really like to keep. But then I pulled out this box that had all of my stuff in it. And I also have some supplies. I pulled those out. They're over here. I have a few different trays of supplies and of course my album. And here's a stack of all the December holiday cards that I got from friends and family. I don't think that these will fit in my album this year. I will probably put them in an envelope. I had considered, taking photos of all of them on a flat lay and including it. I don't think I'm gonna do that, but that is a thought. And then I wanted to kind of see what I had in here. So I'd already printed this out for day 19. So that's gonna be a super simple one. I just need to crop it out and stick a 19 on it and stick it in the album. And I looked back through all my notebooks and everything, and I found this notebook, which actually had a sketch on here from a project from my class, but here I had some sketches of things from my December daily. I have days 14 through 22 sketched out. I, of course, have already finished those, but this gave me an idea of what I was thinking for 19, 20, 21, and 22. I did not, in fact, plan anything for 23 through 25. I had written out Gingerbread House because that was a story I wanted to tell. But my daughter ended up doing that and kind of having a fail with the gingerbread house, so I'm not going to do that story. I also remembered as I pulled this out that I was creating this page. So this page is to go in my stories album for last year, and it's basically documenting December daily. So each square represents that day. And so for this one, I had printed out a little square of the logo from the movie to go right here. And these don't have numbers on most of them, except for 4 had a number. But this is all of the days through 18, and then it will go through 25. And that will be just a fun page to put into my album. So for the ones that I had already planned, I'm going to put together with you on this video 19 and 20, which should be fairly quick and easy. But I'm just kind of assessing where I am before I even dive back in. I had purchased these to do in December daily. I'm thinking that's why they're here. I have no idea what my plan was for these or why I bought them, but they're here. I saved some like ephemera and things in here, and I will probably put these into ephemera things, not December daily, but there are some pieces of ephemera in here that I had saved. And then there was this. So this was what I was trying to do for day 22. So for day 22, I wanted to document my daughter's stocking. So I had a plan to do a stocking that was kind of like a clear pocket, and I was going to use Shrinky Dinks to print out photos of everything in my daughter's stocking and shrink them up. I tested it out here, and as you can see, it didn't print that well, but I do still have this photo saved. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna print this on photo paper and cut them out, and they won't be Shrinky Dinks, but it will still work. So I'm gonna probably scrap that. And then I just have some like papers and stickers in here. So I'm gonna kind of look through my supplies and figure out really what I wanna do for the rest of my album. Right now I'm going to pop off of here and go onto my computer, and I'm going to work on editing and printing photos for the rest of this album so that I can go ahead and film it and get everything put together as quickly as possible. At this point in time, my goal is really just to finish. Like, I really enjoyed this album. I love a lot of the pages that were a little more elaborate that I did. Some of them are very simple, but I had a lot of fun with this album. I'm ready to be done with it. I love how it's coming out. I love all the supplies and everything, but I'm really just want to say it's completed. So at this point, I'm going to try to keep it fairly simple. I'm going to keep the stocking idea and still do that, which might take a little bit more time. But besides that one, I think I'm going to go very simple. I also had an idea for an interactive page for this one, which I'm also going to continue doing, but I don't think it's going to be as complicated or as time consuming as I was afraid of. So we'll see how that goes. But first, I'm going to go ahead and go on the computer and edit and print photos for the entire rest of my album. I'm going to do that off camera, but then I'll pop back on here and put together 19 and 20, and you will see the rest of them in additional videos. Okay, I'm back. I went on my computer and I edited and printed out some photos. I'm just going to do these two right now, and then I will work on the rest of them in another video. So I'm just going to move this to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on fast forward as I try to get these put together.
It feels strange to work on this project again after almost a year. Or I guess it hasn't been quite that long, but I put this project down in the middle of December because I was working on my class, and I never picked it up again. My intention was always to pick it up again in January, but life got busy, as you all know how it goes, and it just never got to it. I am excited now to be working on it again, and it's kind of fun to have this project to kind of get me kind of revved up for the holiday season again and for this project again. The first thing I'm doing here was cropping down that movie poster because that is my story 19. And I cropped it down, and I'm going to adhere it on the back of the page for day 18 that was already in my album, and punch out the holes using my Crop-A-Dile and just trim it so that everything fits perfectly. This album, using the size, I went super simple this year, and I'm very happy that I did. It worked really well for me last year, and it's working really well for finishing this album and just for the stories that I wanted to tell. For this movie, I went out to the movie, and I just didn't really have anything specific to say. I think I just wanted to document the fact that I saw the movie, and that's it. So I'm going through all of my numbers, and I'm looking for the envelope that has 19s because this is day 19. And I tried out a few different ones to see what would look good on this movie poster. And I ended up not choosing any of them, mostly because they were very large and I didn't want to cover up any of the key elements on the poster. I just wanted something small to kind of designate that it was day 19, but not cover, text or his face or anything like that. So what I ended up doing was pulling out the puffy number stickers from my stash of December daily products in my tray here and I'm putting them to do the day 19 on here. I also pulled out those banners because as I was flipping through, I saw them and I love them. I believe they were in the advent calendar last year. The sticker advent calendar from Ali Edwards is one of my favorite products that they do each year, and I can't wait to do it again this year. And it's just fun to have that little surprise each day. So I wanted to use those on the next day, day 20, which is what I'm working on now. You can see I'm cropping down these pictures I've printed. I printed out some pictures for day 21 and day 22. I haven't printed out all of my photos yet, but I'm working on it. And my goal is to finish this project by the middle of September so that I can turn all of my attention to December daily 2023. Working on this project right now is giving me some ideas for what direction I want to go in with my album for 2023. I tend to switch up the size each year, so I will not be doing this same 4 by 5 and a 5.5 inch album. But beyond that, I can't guarantee what size I'm doing. I've gone back and forth in my head between wanting to do a 6 by 8, a 10 by 8, or something smaller, again, like a traveler's notebook size. So I'm still deciding that. Let me know in the comments if you have already decided what your plan is for 2023 December daily, and if not, what different sizes and styles you are considering. I pulled over these from my stash. I really like them, but they just weren't working. I wanted to kind of put an embellishment there between the two plates. My story for day 20, I guess I forgot to mention, was my holiday Christmas party at in the office. We hadn't had one since 2019 because of the pandemic. This was our first one back in person. So it was very exciting for that purpose, but we did still do a fairly small one. We did in the office as opposed to going to a restaurant like we'd done in years before. And I just took this quick photo of 2 of the pieces of food that I brought back to my desk at the end of the party and just made a quick note about it. I don't take a ton of photos at my office just because there is a lot of secrecy there, and I don't want to force my coworkers to be in my scrapbook album. So this was a good way to document the occasion. I pulled out that 20, and what I ended up doing that you saw me do there was take one of those banners and put it behind the 0. It's a little hard to see in the video, but it ends up fitting perfectly behind the 0 so that you can just see the word through it without the banner shape. I also had included one of the banners next to my label. Now I'm moving on to this additional page here. I'm adding the crop down piece that says Violent Night for day 19, and for day 20 I decided I'm going to use another one of these banner stickers. It doesn't fit in the box perfectly, so what I do is I end up cropping it off at the edge of the page, and then I'm putting that little extra piece down below. I decide to add a number in here using these puffy numbers, even though that was not the number I used on day 20. It still worked. And then I decided I had put a number on day 4 but nowhere else. So I decided to add numbers onto this day in the middle that was kind of plain, and it worked out. It was day 13. So I went ahead and added these numbers there as well, just to add a little bit more balance to the overall page. I really liked this sampler of all of the days, and I'm really loving how this album's coming out. Thank you guys so much for being here. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And as always, I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Thank you. Bye.